Hi everyone, this is my behaviorist biography presentation about Mark L. Sundberg. So here is a quick introduction about Sundberg. He has his PhD and BCBA-D. He received his doctorate degree in Western Michigan University in applied behavior analysis. Sundberg is still alive and he is actively one of the speaker in ABA conferences nationally and internationally. He is the author of VB-MAP, which stands for Verbal Behavior Milestone Assessment and Placement Program, and he is the co-author of ABLLS, or we say it ABOS, and which stands for Assessment of Basic Language and Learning Skills. Okay, so here is a picture of Mark L. Sundberg. He is smiling. I don't know how old he is in this picture or how old he is now. But anyways, this is the VB-MAP cover page. Some of you may be familiar with it or have used it because it is used in applied behavior field, and it is an assessment criterion reference tool, or sometimes a curriculum guide and skill tracking system for children with autism and other individuals with language delays. So VB-MAP is based off of B.F. Skinner's verbal behavior analysis. And the VB-MAP consists of a co-wick sample, and I've used this with my clients as well. There's a milestone assessment and it has different levels. And here is the tracking sheet. And yeah, this is the front cover of ABOS. Okay. So as I've said at the previous slide about his work and about VB-MAP, but to expand on that, so Sundberg's primary focus is an intervention program of effective skills of children with autism and other language delays. VB-MAP has 5 components, which provides a baseline model of performance. The first component is the milestone assessment, and that's one of the sample I showed you in the previous slide. Second is a barriers assessment. Third is a transition assessment. Fourth is a task analysis or skill tracking. And fifth is a placement or IEP goals. And like I've said earlier, these are all expanded by B.F. Skinner's verbal behavior analysis. Okay, so my findings of Sundberg's research in my bibliography are, the first article I saw is a title, Contriving Establishing Operations to Teach Mands for Information. So this research study consisted of 2 experiments of children with autism learning Mands for information such as WH question. And they have discovered that children with autism are able to acquire manding information when establishing operation EO is contrived and reinforcing for the child. Number 2 research article that I found is Interverbal Behavior and Verbal Conditional Discrimination in Typical Developing Children and Children with Autism. So this research article is about a study on language assessment between typical developing children and children with autism. It talked about interverbal's interaction and interverbal responses by typical developing children. However, children with autism have difficulties in acquiring these interverbal behaviors. And this research article explained why children with autism has difficulties acquiring these skills, which negatively affect their interactions and social skills. I apologize if it was cut off. in my video presentation. Okay, moving on for my third finding, the benefits of skills analysis of verbal behavior for children with autism. So this article discusses the treatment of the use of Skinner's analysis of verbal behavior for children, especially children with autism. So this article mentioned that children with autism have benefited from early and intensive intervention program by the use of applied behavior analysis intervention or procedure, which most, as an RBT, I'm using this intensive intervention for our children or our clients in the use of applied behavior analysis intervention and procedures. Anyways, the fourth is the role of automatic reinforcement in early language acquisition. I'm sorry again if it was cut off, but I'll read it to you guys. But the fourth, the researchers conducted 2 experiments and tested pre-pairing, pairing, and post-pairing of target sounds along with the reinforcer. The researchers identified that reinforcement has an important role in early language acquisition for typical developing children and children with autism. And last, finally, another research by Mark Sundberg is using interverbal prompts to establish tasks for children with autism. So in this study, they had 2 non-vocal children with autism with some sign language communication for manding. However, they failed to acquire tacting through sign language. And they discussed about using interverbal prompts and procedures to have children with autism successfully tact through sign language. Okay, so if I were to interview Sundberg, there are questions. My questions are, number 1, what made you be interested in researching more about ABA and children with autism and other developmental delays? Number 2, what are the future directions for your work or findings? Number 3, how else would you like to expand the use of VB-MAP? Number 4, have you encountered challenges or barriers that assessors might encounter? And number 5, how can you improve on that, or how else would you improve in? Or what else would you improve in? Sorry. Okay. So the importance of Mark L. Sundberg's work is that it's very important in the applied behavior analysis field because it provides information that we'll use in the development of child's treatment program, and he established developmental milestone and research from the field. So thanks to Mark Sundberg, through the VB-MAP and ABLES, we are able to assess and improve the lives of children and individuals with autism and other language delays. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you for watching. Also, lastly, this is my bibliography, or my references, sorry. Yes, thank you. Bye.